What's going on, everyone? SJ Collectibles back with another toy video, and in this one I'll be going over some of the little upgrades I made to some of the NECA Toys Predator figures. Although I love a lot of the figures they put out, I like to do little things here and there to, I think, improve the figures. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to do about 6 of them that I've done, and so we're going to get started with the Jungle Hunter Predator from the original film. So here he is. This is actually like maybe the 3rd re-release of him. I saw him in the store at like a Best Buy, and I really liked the new paint job that they did on him. Like the original one was kind of like translucent, and it really kind of bugged me, but this one has a really good paint job, and actually the unmasked head sculpt is really good as well. But did a wash on the mask, give it a little bit more dirty look. But what I do with my Predator masks, like they did with the AVP masks, I actually added the wiring, like in the film, to make it more accurate. So he has it coming off this cheek of the mask, and then the two ported up to the top for the laser sighting in his backpack. Then on his backpack piece, I also added in the wiring to it as well, that they, just going off pictures in the movie. You got, whoops, dang. Okay, well, we'll take the backpack and look at it. So yeah, added the wiring to it. You kind of lose the articulation on the armature, which I always feel that they put this on backwards on every single one of these I've ever gotten. So I always swap it around anyway. So yeah, it's pretty much everything I did with the Jungle Hunter Predator. Just gave him a wash on his mask, give it, because it kind of had this really crappy damage mark on it, and then added the tubing, which you can see a lot better. And I just have it tucked behind his hair, because I didn't want to attach it to the backpack piece, so when you get to Final Battle Predator, it's not all attached or anything. So that's all I did for him, so I'll set him aside. Next one I'll do is Wolf Predator, the original one, the one that NECA started everything off with. So here he is. The things I did for him, starting off, I took one of his whips, and I actually made like a folded up one and put a little thing on it. And you can actually, I'm going to remove this spear. You can actually take this loop and unhook it. So, and then it's just a little loop and thing. I think it actually came from like a Dante's Inferno thing that like the Beatrice cross could go on. So that goes on his belt, and then you have this folded down whip tail that he uses in the movie. Other thing I did was I added the wiring to his helmet, of course, and then I also changed out the armatures for his guns, so they have like a little bit more articulation on them. They can actually swivel this way, like this, like an original toy, but it's got a little full range of motion, and then they can spin around and store on his backpack. I also added this little peg. I don't have it on, it's on one of my AVP figures, but the folded down spear can actually store on his backpack. So just imagine that, but it's folded down into the little version, and his backpack comes off. But this is one of my, even though it's the one that started off, this is one of my favorite figures they ever made. I hope that they finally get around to releasing the Ultimate figure. I would love to see what they've done to it to improve on it. I like this more statuesque figure, because that's like how I like my figures anyway. It would just be nice to have a different pose than just this pre-posed thing. So the next one I'll get into is Scarface from Concrete Jungle. So for him, I wanted to like kind of make a more like medieval times figure, so it's not really Scarface anymore. It's kind of like a different character altogether. I added these horns to his biomask, kind of make it like this Minotaur looking thing. I like had this, like, there's that fan film, like the Dark Ages thing, and it's kind of silly just kind of seeing like regular Jungle Hunter Predator being in there. So it would have been really cool if they did kind of like this, like, yeah, kind of like knight's armor or whatever. So I added these horns. I think they were from Gears of War, Marauder or whatever figure, the big boomer. Then I also added this sheath to him, and I made this custom sword for him. Get it out of there. And it was actually the blade from Scarface, but I turned it into this kind of sweet, like, broadsword for him, and he can hold on to it. I added, some like shoulder armor to him, and some like a broken broadsword, like maybe it was like from a Knights Templar that he killed. I added like this little pouch with a smart disc, and he has a shuriken on his belt, which I added this like hip armor to him, which I think was, I can't even remember what figure it was from. But then instead of having like a shoulder caster, I actually like wanted to put like this caster on his wrist, which I thought would be kind of cool. So yeah, this is a really cool figure anyway, but I added these elbow pads to him also. So yeah, that is my custom Scarface medieval Knights Templar killer kind of figure. Really like him. The next one is going to be Fugitive Predator from The Predator. So this one was kind of a simple, but I feel like a really effective little customization to this figure. So this was the re-release of the figure. They did like a more glossy skin tone on him, which I really liked. And on him, they did better dreadlocks. They redid the dreadlocks on the re-release. But I added these dreadlocks to the Lab Escape Predator because I wanted to have the light-up eyes on the bio mask. So I removed the crappy hair off the original release, and the re-release figure, like I said, had better dreadlocks, so I added them to the Lab Escape Fugitive Predator. I really like this figure. I like the design of this Predator, even though the movie is just horrible. And then to go along with this figure, to go with Assassin Predator, I made this little accessory. It's when Fugitive Predator gets fucked up. So yeah, I like made it look like he got his face just completely punched in, and I used the spinal column from the engineer trophy that comes with Ahab, and I just painted it with this neon green paint that I got from like Michael's that worked really well. It took a bunch of coats because it's like really watery, and I added some like baking soda to kind of like chill it out a little bit so it would actually stick to the plastic, and I used like a gloss coat to give it a nice shine. But yeah, like how this came out, and it's the accessory for Assassin Predator that he can hold on to. Next figure is going to be Ultimate Lost Predator. Alright, I didn't really do much to him, but I really do love this figure. This is the ultimate one. I added these knee guards. They came from, I think, Hornhead Predator, and I added some different pouches to him just to give him a little more aesthetic. Then I took like a sheath, and I made a mini blade using like the Darksaber from a Black Series Moff Gideon, and cut it down and trying to match the exact aesthetic to his long blade. So now I can kind of like dual wield, sword with a short blade, give him this really samurai-ish feel to him. This is such a cool figure, and the fact that he has like this light up feature in his mask, the batteries are kind of dying. Alright, well, yeah, he's got light up eyes on this mask, and it looks really freaking cool. And then last but not least, I made a custom Dark Predator from the 2010 AVP game. So this is my Dark Predator custom. I can't even remember the helmet I used, but it had the overall aesthetic of the mask that he has with like this kind of like multi-layers on the biomask. But this was the Surf and Hunter body, and then I kind of added things to him to make him kind of like Chopper Predator, with adding the skulls to his back. But yeah, he has the dual wrist blades, and overall really cool figure. Love him a lot. It has this shoulder caster, all his accessories on his belt. I think at one time when I first made him, I had it like have a dual wielding like wolf shoulder caster, but I did away with that. But yeah, so these are all my little short customs that I did for some Predators in my collection, and I hope that you liked all of them. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Like and subscribe to the channel if you're not. And as always, this is SJ Collectibles saying toys keep you young, and happy hunting out there.